Namaste and welcome back. For almost the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about building new habits. But what exactly is a habit? That's the question I started asking myself when I created these videos. What are habits? How are they created? Why are good habits so hard to build and bad ones even harder to break? And what I found is that knowing these answers definitely helps in the process of habit formation, so keep watching. According to experts, a habit is a recurrent, often subconscious pattern of behavior that is acquired through repetition. Let's break this down. If you take the same way to work every day, you probably have that pathway ingrained in your brain. And you could even walk that way without thinking about it or whilst blindfolded. And habits are created in a very similar way. By repeating an action, neural pathways are created in the brain. And the more we repeat that pattern, that action, the stronger the pathway gets until it becomes like a superhighway of information. Think back to the first time you ever rode a bicycle. You had to learn how to pedal, how to balance your body weight, how to turn, all at the same time. It took a lot of effort and it was really challenging, right? You had to consciously think about every action. This happens in the prefrontal cortex, an area of the brain that is associated with complex thought. This way of thinking is conscious and intentional, and it requires a lot of energy from your brain. But after riding your bike a few times, eventually you were able to ride it without even thinking about it. Riding a bike had become second nature. This way of thinking is subconscious, it's faster, it's automated, and it happens in a different area of your brain that requires less energy. So basically, this is your brain being really efficient. By reducing the thinking power for tasks like riding a bike, it has the ability and the energy to think about other things. It makes a lot of sense, right? Habits help our brains conserve energy, and that's why we have so many of them. A study actually found that more than 40% of our daily behaviors are done out of habit. And that is in and of itself not a bad thing. It only becomes problematic when some of our habits are doing us more harm than good. Think about habits like smoking, like biting your nails, or scrolling social media. These old habits are really hard to quit because they are ingrained in the neural pathways. And basically, our brains are hardwired to repeat these actions. But of course, it is possible to break your old habits and to build new, better ones. The key here is repetition. There really is no other solution. Through repetitions, you will build and strengthen new neural pathways until a new habit is formed. Let's take yoga, for example. At the moment, you probably still have to consciously think about doing your practice, and maybe you even forgot one day. But if you keep showing up, eventually yoga is going to become a habit, and you no longer have to think about it. You will just do it. And at that point, doing yoga is actually going to be easier than not doing yoga. And that's where we want to get. And you're already on the best way. Just keep showing up for your practice. Keep showing up every day, no matter how you feel, no matter whether you're in the mood to do yoga. Keep showing up, and every day it will become easier. I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow, where we will dive deeper into the 3 main components of a habit. Until then, enjoy today's yoga class.